No, 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 no.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I know I said we were going to take a break from this truck, but as you can see, we're a little deep in it already. In the beginning of the video, you've seen we had a couple of issues from the last event that we ran the truck at. Main one being we figured out why we kept losing that intercooler boot on this side, which you guys seen. I guess I messed up on the motor mount. No big deal, is what it is. However, the coolant hose was a big concern for me. Left it sitting overnight from that day and came in. There's still a bunch of pressure in the cooling system. I did a hot retorque yesterday, but then overnight I just decided, you know what, let's go ahead and rip the head off. Having a little issue finding a Hazley head gasket right now, but I think I sourced one. So hopefully we're gonna take this off today, and hopefully we're not waiting too long for that gasket. But good news is this also kind of gives me time. I can redo all this heat tape, the heat shielding. We got the turbo covers off. We're either gonna get them polished or we're gonna get them powder coated, so that once and for all that'll be done. We'll get the intercooler pipe polished, and I'll show you guys later, but we are gonna have to redo this intercooler pipe. It got damaged when it blew off, I think, the last time. But yeah, so ain't nothing to it but to do it, I guess. Alright, so I got the coolant draining, made a mess as usual, but really just got the injectors out right now. I'm gonna go to lunch real quick because I'm starving. So quick tip though, took me a while to figure this out, but pull your rail complete like this. Don't take all the individual injector lines off. I mean, it saves like 2 seconds, but it just makes it easier. You don't have to sit there and try to match up the injectors, the injector lines, but that's what I do. Quick little tip. But yeah, we'll go to lunch and we'll be back. Another thing, I use plastic seat protectors to protect the paint. That way it's not perfect, but I don't want any scratches. Same thing here, where I'll be kind of having my knee across all the time. Then I got some duct tape here where this is always going to keep rubbing. So just a little bit of protective things that you want to do. But again, guys, the thing about this is that this is going to give me time to really clean up some stuff. We're going to change the CCV routing a little bit. We can clean up some of this mess that was happening here. We're going to pull out these prototype ISPRO gauges, throw in another set, see how they work. But yeah, so a lot of just cleaning up. You can see we had a bit of a coolant leak on that upper hose and this seal here. So a little bit of downtime, but biggest reason we're doing this is we're getting ready for Randy's sled pull and dyno event coming up in May. So I want to just make sure this is all buttoned back up, fresh and ready to go, and see if we can lay down some good numbers on the dyno, and who knows, maybe we'll try sled pulling. All right, so some time has passed. Obviously we got the turbos off, we got the head studs all out, head's ready to come out. Wanted to show you guys what we use. So I got a pair of these Fire Punk, I guess head lifting adapters or engine lifting. I put this fully dressed engine in with this. I've put in a few other engines, but also for just pulling heads, this thing makes it a breeze. And then of course we got our forklift, which helps as well, but highly recommend one of these. So we're gonna go ahead, get a chain hooked up, probably put it in the front so that way we can get the head to angle up as we go out, and we'll get her on out. All right, so we got the head off. So looking for our culprit. Looks like cylinder 1. You can see where we're getting that darkness. That's the compression. Exiting stage left and probably going right into those steam ports. Yeah. Oh man. What? Overall, you can see cylinder boards look good, pistons all look good. So at least for a little health check on this engine, I think we're doing all right. We're gonna go ahead and clean up the deck surface, and I actually, over lunch, I called Power Driven Diesel, and luckily they had some Hazley gaskets in stock, so I went ahead and ordered 2. So we have a spare. I'm not gonna take the manifold off because there's no exhaust leak, so don't need to give myself extra work. I'll get a new intake gasket for here, but outside of that, I mean, everything looks good. We'll just redo the heat wrap on that exhaust pipe. We'll wash up all our parts, new valve cover gasket, but overall, not bad for a couple hours there. Guys, we're back. It's been about a week and a half now since we worked on the truck. Just been super busy here at the shop, but we're gonna go ahead and get back cracking on it. We got the head all cleaned up, the deck surface, can't see it right now. Also, another thing I did, which I didn't do when I initially installed or put the engine together, was I actually chased out the threads for the head studs. I got this ARP chaser, I believe it's the ARP one, yeah. So that's the one for Cummins. We'll work on 12 valve, 24 valve, 12 millimeter studs. So we got all that cleaned up. We got our new injector seals here. We're gonna go ahead and reseal up our DDP injectors. And then the only other thing we're changing here is we got this XDP bolt-on rear freeze plug. Like I said, we're gonna take out the fleece coolant bypass so we can use it in another vehicle. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get this going. We got the deck prepped, we got the head prepped. We're in my engine room right now because it's sounds like a shop out there, so we're not gonna have any audio out there. It'll just be some video getting the head on, and then yeah, waiting on some powder coat and polish pieces to come back. But hopefully we'll get the head on today, get it all torqued. Maybe we'll get it running, maybe we'll do a hot retorque today, I don't know yet, but we'll at least get the head on, have it ready. That way when the turbos are ready and all the other little things are ready, we can hopefully drive it home tomorrow night. That's the plan. So yeah, we got the deck all cleaned up, all the pistons cleaned up. Like I said, pretty happy with how the engine's wearing. So far so good. We got about 1,000 miles on her or so. Also took some time to go ahead and tuck some of this wiring. We're gonna change up the routing of the catch can just a little bit, but again, we're gonna get rid of that. Not that it's bad, but I just want to use it on the other truck. So we'll do that. And then next project we're gonna have to do here is we need to get AC going because it's getting kind of hot. But for now, let's get the head on. Real quick, want to give a big shout out to Power Driven Diesel again for getting me this gasket, this Hazley 6.7 fire ring gasket. Couldn't get any in stock literally anywhere else but Power Driven. They had some, so I bought 2. But I wanted to give you guys real quick a comparison because I've never explained how the fire ring works versus just like a standard head gasket. So here we go. Just for reference, this is a 5.9 gasket. I don't have a 6.7 one in stock. Serves the same purpose for what we're doing here. But so as you can see, on a normal head gasket, your combustion sealing is here. Now 5.9 has this weird oblong, goofy looking shape here, but whatever. But this is where the sealing of all the combustion of the cylinder happens. Now you come over to this fire ring gasket, that's not there. Instead, we got these 105 thou thick stainless steel O-rings, basically, that go in here in place of the original, basically call it a fire ring on the head gasket. So that basically takes the brunt of the abuse of the cylinder pressures. Now, why we run it on these higher horsepower trucks is simply because they will take more abuse. These head gaskets, granted, a lot of people do run them. I know, you know, this isn't a one size fits all. This is basically the reasoning I have behind doing it on my trucks and basically any future customer trucks we would do. But these gaskets just can't hold the power even with heavier duty studs and whatnot. Here you have this stainless steel wire which will take the brunt of the pressure, which is a lot stronger than any sort of multi-layer steel gasket, in my opinion. Again, guys, there's no one size fits all for this. I'm just explaining my reasoning and why I chose to go this route. Now, there's also a few different ways you can do this, and you can either cut. So basically what you would do is you're gonna have to cut a groove in your, either the cylinder head or the cylinder block, or in my case, I did half and half in both. So that way, the cylinder head and the block kind of interlock with this as a sandwich in the middle, just to create the best overall sealing combustion. Now, I know back in the day, you know, especially even when I was getting into the industry, fire rings were kind of looked at as like a race only application, I guess because they didn't last long. Now, from what I am understanding, is that was the old square style. So now this, let's see if we can focus here, come on. Well, I can't get it to focus any better than that. But anyway, so this is a round style wire. The old style were actually like kind of a square ring, I guess, and I guess they still make them, but basically you have a square cut and then you have a radius cut like this. This style seems to hold up a lot better in daily applications. There's tons of guys out there running this on tow rigs, on daily drivers, yada, yada, yada. So again, this is why I'm running it, and I just wanted to show you guys kind of the differences here and show you what we're doing and why the difference is here, why we're having to do the hot retorque and why this one failed because I probably didn't do it when I should have, kind of deal, versus when, you know, as long as you have a nice machine flat surface on both sides, this gasket will hold up pretty well in most applications. Again, what I want to do, I think this will hold up a lot better as long as it's properly taken care of, as long as you break it in right and you torque it down when you should. I think I just didn't do that, and it is what it is. That's why we're learning. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this on, get the head torqued down, and rock and roll. All right, so last night we got the head on, torqued, and I've just started putting on the valve train, got the push rods in, the valve bridges in, and what I'm using for my assembly lube, which it's not a fresh engine, so it doesn't necessarily need it, but you know, why not? I'm using this Lucas assembly lube. I like it. It's kind of tacky. See if, right? So it's kind of sticky, kind of tacky. Another thing we're doing is I went ahead and ordered up a set of new Cummins rocker arms, 6.7, only because the rocker arms I had were, the tips were kind of falling off. Not a big deal, but I just figured why not. It's cheap insurance. Let's go ahead and get new rocker arm assemblies. These are, of course, the updated 6.7 style, so they don't have that plastic ring around here. And they have the updated oiling. You can see this groove here. It allows oil to kind of go around. So yeah, just a little upgrade that we're gonna do. So we gotta get the injectors resealed, new intake gasket. I got a grid heater delete coming, so we'll get that together. Only downside is I completely spaced getting new T4 flange gaskets, and I'm out of stock of them, and I can't get them in town, so we're gonna have to wait till Monday to get it fired up. So we'll get as far as we can here, and then call it a wrap, I guess, as far as the engine until Monday. All right, quick update. We got the injectors in, torqued down. We got the rocker arms in. Another thing I do a little different, as you can see, this is a steel intake gasket. Most of the ones you get in your kits are gonna be either like that paper gasket material or like that composite silver material. Problem with that is in a high boost application, you can have them actually literally blow out. So run the steel one. I've heard some guys will even put silicone in there, but for now I didn't have any boost leaks last time I checked with just the steel. So that's what I'm gonna run. This is a Interstate McBee part. You can get it off of XDP now. They're starting to carry Interstate McBee, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, this is what I use on pretty much all engines now. So cheap little upgrade. So then what I'll do is I'll put the intake manifold on, and the biggest thing is every bolt is gonna get some red Loctite. Remember guys, this engine is the red Loctite queen. So makes it a little harder when you got to tear things down, sure, but at least it doesn't come apart by itself usually. All right, so I had to wait for a oil filter and some other little things, but went ahead, put on the new wheel and tires setup. I think they are freaking sick. So we're running the Nitto 555 R2s and these Fuel 22x12 Ignite wheels. Mainly using them because I had them already, and I couldn't find these wheel or this tire in the size that I wanted. I wanted like a 29-inch tire or 28-inch, but yeah, didn't happen. So went ahead, just got these. They're basically like 31.5-inch tires, and yeah, I think they look pretty sweet. But anyway, finally got the oil filter, and no, I was waiting on the oil. That's what it was. Sorry. But basically, here's what I'm running as far as oil. Running basically a gallon of the VR1 2050. Really like it because it's a racing spec oil. So as you can see here, it's high in zinc. It's a really good oil. Also, it's pretty much set up for flat tappet engines, which is nice. Also running this Lucas Zinc Plus just to add a little more zinc to the whole shebang. And then outside of that, I'm just running whatever 1540 we have on hand as far as either Rotella, Dello, Valvoline, basically whatever we can get now. So that's what we're doing. We'll go ahead and get this filled up and fired up. I have the caps on for the oil drains for the turbos, and I just looped the oil feed because I can't find my dash 4 caps. So yeah, we'll be able to at least fire it up and get the initial hot retorque done today, and then when we come back Monday, we'll have our gaskets, we'll put everything back together, we will get this girl back on the road. So gotta get this done really quick. It's really hot. I completely forgot I wasn't running coolant, so it got hotter quicker. So luckily I remembered before I was really just sitting there all day revving it to get it hot. Have you seen how much these move on a hot retorque? First hot retorque. So as you can see, one of the things we did was we fully polished the turbo system, even down to the band clamps. Also, while it was off, went ahead and replaced that crappy heat shield that I got from or heat wrap that I got from Amazon. I got a DEI setup. I use a lot of their products here at the shop, and I'm super happy with it. So I can just tell the quality is a lot better, a lot thicker. I don't know, just seems better. Also went ahead, I got a new charge pipe on the driver's side. Just a, I believe it's a BD diesel stock replacement, nothing crazy. Only thing I did mess up on is, well, you guys will see in the future video, I added these ports to my charge tube, and I didn't account for there being another big ass turbo. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make another port right about here and pay to have that tube repowder coated again. So it is what it is. But overall, she's good to go. Test drive was a success, but also a failure. Definitely forgot those back two bolts. I forgot to tighten them and I lost them. And she's puking oil all over the place. Super sick. And my noob ass also didn't put my radiator cap on correct. So I just shit all over my beautifully polished turbos in my fresh powder coated pipe. But, you know, whatever. All right, as you've seen, test drive was half successful. Got a little excited, and I didn't tighten down a few things, so just got to get some replacement hardware for the valve cover and then top off coolant, things like that. Only little issue we had on the test drive was I noticed that it was blowing heat even though I had cold on. So obviously we have a blend door issue, so that kind of sucks. So I'm not going to drive it home tonight. It's Vegas. We're already at like 80, 90 degrees, so no, not happening. I'll stick with the 450 for tonight. But yes, I'll wrap up the video here. Got a lot done, super stoked. Next up, we're gonna be installing some nitrous. So guys, stay tuned. Please follow, like, subscribe, all that, yada yada. You know, we'll go from there, guys. I'm tired, end of the day. Time to go home. See you next time.